Hello and welcome to a brand new episode of the Transfer Talk. I am Dia and today we'll be discussing the latest Palace transfer rumours of the day. So let's get into it. The first rumour of the day, according to Daily Mail, is that Crystal Palace have slapped an £8 million price tag on Christian Benteke as they look to sell the £120,000 a week player to help fund a £40 million move for Watford's Ismaila Sarr. So two players at once in this one report. So let's start with Christian Benteke, £8 million price tag for Benteke. And it's a confusing one because he's got one more year left in his contract. So his contract does run out next summer. And of course, he is earning a decent amount of money, but he has a new role at Palace. So I know some of you don't like his new role because you think a striker should score goals. And I know some of you do like it and saying that he has positive contributions. So let me know what you think about Christian Benteke, £8 million. Do you think he's worth that much? And do you think the club should go ahead and sell him for that much? And then let's move to the second report, is that Ismaila Sarr could be coming to Crystal Palace. Now, Sarr was a brilliant player for Watford last year, one of their best players, if not the best, despite them getting relegated, has huge potential, has proven himself against the big sides, and really settled in the Premier League. So he's a fantastic player, but the only downside is a £40 million price tag. And if it was so easy, if it was a case of just selling Benteke and getting Ismaila Sarr, then you know what? Without a doubt, let that happen. But I don't think it's going to be that simple. But if we get Ismaila Sarr, that would be the biggest transfer so far this window. We've been rumoured with lots of players, but Ismaila Sarr would be the one that stands out. So hopefully that happens, but we'll see with that one, man. Let me know what you think about Ismaila Sarr, because I'm pretty excited about it if it does happen, and I'm pretty sure you guys will be as well. And let's get into the second rumour. So the second rumour of the day is Lyon's Bertrand Traore, who, according to Sky Sports, this summer has been watched by a long list of Premier League clubs, including Newcastle, Leicester City, Everton, and Crystal Palace. So Traore, he was previously at Chelsea, joined Lyon. He hasn't been a regular starter this season for them, and also has played a couple Champions League matches, but still hasn't had a one starting spot at the club. And I wanted to find a bit more about the player himself and what Lyon fans were saying about him, because at the end of the day, they would know the most about their player. And one comment that stood out for me was the fact that Lyon fans said that all he does is cut with his left foot. He's not good at finishing, which I've heard in other places as well about his finishing, that not that great, and that he's nonchalant. He's a bit relaxed on the pitch, which doesn't sound great, I'll be honest with you. And there's a reason why Lyon want to sell him. Of course, he's not starting games, but according to Who Scored, his main strengths are dribbling and holding onto the ball. So it seems like your typical dribbler and, you know, gets past players, but then when it comes to the end product, it's not really there. Personally, I won't be too excited about this, but Palace have entered the race just like hundreds of other players, so I thought I'd let you guys know. The next player is Marco Bizot, who has gained reputation as one of the best goalkeepers in Holland, and he hit the headlines last season after keeping 24 clean sheets in 38 games for AZ Alkmaar. Atletico Madrid, Sevilla, Valencia all want to sign him, and we are told, this is according to Sky Sports, that there has been interest as well from Sheffield United, Crystal Palace and Fulham. 24 clean sheets in 38 games for any league is brilliant. So that's a fantastic stat, but it's a bit confusing why we're linked with a goalkeeper who's 29 years old. Maybe if there was a goalkeeper out there, one for the future, it would make sense. But already got Vicente Guaita, who has been rumoured to leave the club. That's when the interested part comes in. And also Wayne Hennessy, which I personally feel like we should move on from him because it's never going to work out for him at Palace, regardless of how well or how bad he does, of course. Fans are never on his side. So unless this is for Wayne Hennessy, we sell Wayne Hennessy and get a replacement, I would be happy with that, no doubt. But if this is Vicente Guaita, then things get interesting. He's 29 years old, as I mentioned. So I guess this is just a backup option just in case we sell one of our goalkeepers, but we'll keep an eye out on this one. According to the Mirror, Liverpool have put a £20 million price tag on Harry Wilson, and interest from Leeds, Newcastle, Crystal Palace and Southampton are there. Wilson, 23 years old, wants regular top-flight football next season after scoring 7 Premier League goals on loan at Bournemouth, and Jurgen Klopp is prepared to let him leave Anfield. The one thing about Wilson that stands out is his set-piece taking. He scored lots of free kicks in his career and is a very good set-piece taker, especially with free kicks. But the one thing that I'm not too sure about, maybe I need you guys help, is his corners. I don't know if he took corners at Bournemouth, but we desperately need help with corners because we saw last season how bad we were. I think we only scored, one goal in the whole season, and we were just basically lofting balls into the box and really didn't have any set piece plans. And James McCarthy was taking corners at some points of the season. So he would be good for set pieces, which we do need to improve on and can be an underrated aspect in the game. But the only downside about Harry Wilson is of course, his £20 million valuation. I'm not too sure how many players we can pay £20 million for, because we've been linked with so many players that's been around the £15 to £20 million region. So that's the one thing to watch out for. And also his physicality, 5'8", not the tallest, not the physically gifted player. But then again, Ryan Fraser we're linked with. He also isn't physically gifted, and Palace fans do want him. So I wouldn't look too much into that. I thought I mentioned his physical aspects, but he's a very good footballer. Don't get me wrong, attacking player, can play centrally, out wide, so he can help Palace going forward wherever we need him. And let me know what you guys think. Do you think that we should go for Harry Wilson? And would you prefer Wilson to the likes of maybe Watkins or Eze? Let me know what you think. The final rumour of the day is on Florinel Coman. Crystal Palace are expected to pursue FCSB winger Coman if Zaha leaves the club. Palace would pursue a £12 million deal for him. I don't know much about him. It's the first time I've heard of this player. Of course, I tried to look a bit about him to find out what he can do, what his positions are, what his strengths and weaknesses are. But the main thing that I found out is, of course, he plays in Romania, FCSB, and Romanian fans have been calling him the Neymar of Romania, if you take that as a goodwill. And yeah, he's 22 years old, out wide. But there's been analysts who have been tracking him down and have said that he might be good in a couple of years, but right now they're not too sure if he's ready for the Premier League. And if that's the case, then why on earth would Palace go and spend £12 million? Because right now we need players for next season. Of course, we want to build for the future, but first of all, let's get players who are going to be starters, then look to build for the future and spend £12 million like that. So I'm not too sure about this one. If you guys heard of him, if you're Romanian, let me know if he would be any decent for Palace, but I thought I'd mention it. Well, that's it for today. Hope you guys have enjoyed the episode. And as always, make sure to leave a like and subscribe so you don't miss out on future content. And until next time, up the Palace.